Hello, welcome back to another video. In this session, we are going to see some important terms from railway engineering. So let's start. The rail designated by its weight per unit length. Rails are designated by its weight per unit length. Next term, carbon and manganese are the two important components used in steel for rail. Carbon and manganese are the two important components used in steel for rail. Next, the length of rail, broad gauge and meter gauge is 13 meter and 12 meter. Length of rail in BG and MG is 13 meter and 12 meter. The next largest dimension of rail is height. Largest dimension of rail is height. And the largest percentage of material in the rail is in head. Largest percentage of material in the rail is in head. And the purpose of providing the fillet in rail section is to avoid stress concentration. Purpose of providing the fillet in rail section is to avoid stress concentration. Next, 52 kg rails are used in broad gauge. In broad gauge, 52 kg rails are used and 60R rails used in meter gauge. 60R rails used in meter gauge. Ordinary rails are made of high carbon steel. Ordinary rails are made of high carbon steel and the main function of fish plate is to join the two rails together. Main function of fish plate is to join the two rails together. Number of fish balls per fish plate is 4. Number of fish balls per fish plate is 4. Next one, the gauge is the distance between running phases of the rail. Gauge is the distance between running phases of rail. Broad gauge provided in main cities. Broad gauge provided in main cities. Meter gauge undeveloped areas. Meter gauge undeveloped areas and narrow gauge thinly populated area. Narrow gauge thinly populated area. Tilting, the process of giving inward slope of 1 in 20. Tilting is the process of giving inward slope of 1 in 20. Next is coning, the process of giving outward slope of 1 in 20. Process of giving outward slope of 1 in 20. Hogging of rails. The rails are bent down due to loose packing of basalts. That is called hogging. Hogging of rails is the bending down. Rails are bent down due to loose packing of basalt. Next one, buckling of rail. The rails get out of their original shape due to insufficient expansion joints. Due to insufficient expansion joints, rails get out of their original shape, that we called as buckling of rail. Next, creep of rail. Flow of rail metal due to the longitudinal movement of rail. Due to longitudinal movement of rail, flow of rail metals, that is called creep of rail. Next, wear of rail. The flow of rail metal due to heavy load. Wear of rail due to heavy load. Next, height of the 52 kg rail section is 156. Height of the 52 kg rail section is 156. 19 mm is the gap provided between inside edge of wheel and gauge faces. 19 mm is the gap provided between the inside edge of wheel and gauge faces. Creep is the longitudinal movement of rail. That we discuss here. Creep of the rail is the flow of rail metal due to longitudinal movement of rail. So creep of is the longitudinal movement of rail. Maximum degree of curvature for meter gauge is 16. Maximum degree of curvature for meter gauge is 16. Next, staggered joints. Staggered joints are generally provided on curves. Staggered joints are generally provided on curves. Wooden sleepers. Wooden sleepers are preferred on joints. Wooden sleepers are preferred on joints. Next, sleeper density. Sleeper density in India varies from n plus 2 to n plus 7. Sleeper density varies from n plus 2 to n plus 7. Next, composite sleeper index. Composite sleeper index determines the hardness and strength. Composite sleeper index determines the hardness and strength. Next, minimum composite sleeper index preferred by Indian Railways is 783. Minimum composite sleeper index preferred by Indian Railways is 783. Dog spikes are used for fixing the rails to the wooden sleepers. Dog spikes are used for fixing rails to the wooden sleepers. Next point, 25 mm size basalt is used under points and crossings. 25 mm size basalt is used under points and crossing. 3.35 meter and 2.3 meter is the width of the Bella section for BG and meter gauge. 3.35 meter and 2.3 meter is the width of Bella section for broad gauge and meter gauge. Two keys used in CST9 sleepers. Two keys used in CST9 sleepers. 35 mm per second is the desirable rate of change of CAN deficiency of meter gauge. 35 mm per second is the desirable rate of change of CAN deficiency of meter gauge. Next point, normally the limiting value of CAN is G by 10. Limiting value of CAN is G by 10. CAN deficiency occur when a vehicle travels speed higher than equilibrium speed. CAN deficiency occur when a vehicle travels speed higher than equilibrium speed. The shape of the curve used by Indian Railway is transition curve. Shape of the curve used by Indian Railway is transition curve. 1 degree curve is equal to 1750 by R. 1 degree curve is equal to 1750 by R. Very important equation, note down. 1 degree curve is 1750 by R. Switch angle is the angle between gauge face of the stock rail and tongue rail. Switch angle is the angle between gauge face of the stock rail and tongue rail. Yellow light signal indicates proceed cautiously. Yellow light signal proceeds cautiously. Crushed head failure caused by loose fish balls. Crushed head failure caused by loose fish balls. Wear of rails is maximum in sharp curve. Wear of rails maximum in sharp curves. A treadle bar is used for interlocking points and signals. For interlocking points and signals, a treadle bar is used. This winding up the section. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, please like and share to friends. Thanks for watching. Keep on watching.